Gentlemen, never think you're too good to play lesser mechanical champions such as Annie in solo queue to climb. Even our boy Faker has been spamming the champion. Most played this season, 68% win rate, 4.3 KD. Annie is broken. Faker said to himself, you know, maybe I'm the best player in the world, but undeniably, Annie is so strong at the moment. Doesn't matter how many nerfs come out from right, this champion is still so solid in the mid lane. If you play it, you will climb. Today, we're going to jump on the Rift, check out Annie, talk about why the champion is so hot right now in-game, and why I think you guys can still abuse it, even after several nerfs, to climb some divisions and get to your true elo. But before we jump onto the Rift, a quick word from today's sponsor. Gentlemen, over the years on this channel, I've taught you to play the cleanest League of Legends of your life, but what I haven't been able to teach you is how to also apply this in real life and become clean and presentable yourself. This is where today's sponsor comes into play. Let me introduce you to Manscaped. And if you didn't know this already, studies have actually shown that 85% of women prefer a man that's scaped below the belt. Don't ask me why I know that, but I do. And that's where Manscaped is going to be coming in. They have the leading premium men's grooming tools for us to sharpen up a little bit in the bathroom, the shower, wherever you want to do it, I might do it right here. And they sent me a care package today that I'll be showing off, okay? Little box, your balls will thank you. The Weed Whacker. You have big nose hairs, ears hairs, get rid of them. I'm not sure of any girl that likes that. And then coming through to my favorite product, and this is the Lawnmower 4.0. As a light, low light situations, genius. It's a beast, just like me. And if you're going to be coming through, I'm just going to show you guys, like, look at that. Like, stop using old school razors. What are you doing? It's not 1920. This is the highest tech you can possibly get to get yourselves looking clean, okay? Looking presentable. I'm going to put a link in the description down below. Use code Midbeast and get 20% off plus free shipping. Go and try it. Let me know what you think. And let's start looking clean, presentable, and feeling fresh in 2023. Coming into the lane, up against a LeBlanc. Room page in the bottom left. First strike, mana flow. Don't be afraid in your lower elo games if you want to run something aggressive like Electrocute. In high elo, things like First Strike work very well because there's less solo kill. People know how to lane much better, more efficiently. There's less solo kills available, so even when you run Electrocute, you can't get kills. So you go First Strike, gather gold, scales in late game, items, etc. In lower elo, things like the Electrocute or even something like a Summon Airy or, let's say, a Comet. Sometimes all it takes is an auto flash Q ignite and they'll die. They don't know the numbers, the calculations. But in high elo, we go First Strike. And he has one of the longest auto attack ranges in the mid lane. Do not forget about it. Don't think you're just Q spamming. So what they did with Annie is they pretty much buffed her entire kit. Kibbies became formidable. A lot more AP scaling. They did just nerf her on this patch, but the nerfs, in my opinion, aren't going to kill the champion. I don't know what, Annie has just slowly been ramping up over the last, like, year to be a complete monster in the mid lane, yet so easy to play. I like the idea. I don't know if this is just a theory, but Riot are making a lot of the, like, the lesser costing champions pretty strong. Maybe, like, champions new players are going to be playing, like Annie, and can master. Maybe they want new players to have accessible champions they can pilot and climb with, and maybe they'll end up playing more games and think, hey, I'm Beifang, play Kiana, buy a $12,000 skin that they sell, the Prestige Gucci edition, and make money. I don't know what's going on at Riot Games. I'm not a businessman for them. I am for myself. So if you do want to subscribe and like the video, I would really appreciate that. You drop on my stream Monday to Friday, normal work week, little 9 to 5. You know the drill. You know it. Anyways, coming in this lane, slight CS lead. It's going to slow shove into Faker. Our T1 have been looking this season very strong. I think they can win Worlds. I don't think they're currently leading as the favorites for me, but I do think it's totally in their wheelhouse. LeBlanc. He looking for trade. LeBlanc also seeing a lot of buffs as of late. You really shouldn't be missing too many creeps on Annie early. You should be CSing at 10 minutes. You should be around about 80 CS. If you're lower than that, I'm not going to say you're a noob, but just look at your replay files and understand where the CS you're missing. because it's so easy to CS with Annie with the Q. Like you're using that E. Be back on cooldown. Do you see how they gets the reset? You get the mana back. It's just it's easy mechanics, okay? Flash. One more auto. Does it get it? Die. And Faker gets it. You can see. How easy is that? Get your buddy Maokai, the old tree. Come and gank. Flash done. Not very hard. And I'm guessing, is that like an auto laugh mechanic that Annie has? I don't like it. I know Singed doesn't Singed have like an auto laugh command or something when he uses some abilities? Is it a level up? I don't know. Level 6 here. We are flying in this game. Usually it's going to be a rower setup. Let's see if I recognize any names. Not quite. You can see LeBlanc starting to get some magic resist. Even a strong lane like LeBlanc is not able to match up against the Annie. She has to get the magic resist. This is going to completely destroy her chances of any solo kills in the lane, and Faker would simply be able to always head-to-head win this. I think Annie struggles into champions such as Orianna, such as Syndra. She does very well into like mid-range mages, I would say, and shorter range things like, let's say, like a Yasuo or something, obviously very easy. But then those mid to long range mages is what Annie really struggles to gap close. She gets outspaced. Don't be scared. Get a flank flash in the mid game. You just have to drop a couple of CS in the lane. If you have an unfavorable matchup, I'd rather you drop 5 to 10 CS than try and aggressively trade in a matchup you don't win for no reason. Just simply take the L, cop the L, and do what your champion does best. Team fighting. Objective control. Looking for picks. You don't need to be the #1 at all areas of the game. No champion is. Every champion has strengths. Every champion has weaknesses. For a couple that are completely stupidly broken, but we won't talk about that. Every single CS needs to be contested. The tip-top level, when you have an advantage, every time they're going in for these CSs on these autos, that's your opportunity to move in for a trade. In high elo, a lot of the times the trading is... Ooh, Faker doesn't have flash, he might die here. Ignite comes out, Wukong makes his way in, and he pops the Tibbers. That Tibbers is doing some aggressive trades back. You think in your mind when you have a hard matchup, you know, I will just play passively, and I know it literally just said play passive, but like in the high elo games against good players who I have versed, I don't need to name any names, but like Faker, Dopa, Chovy, Rookie, Nemesis, all those names I've versed. You're not allowed to breathe. Every time you even think about hitting a CS, they're looking to unleash their entire load upon you in game. Which is good. It's a good learning experience, you know? We'll shove this one more in. Hopefully we can get boots or a blasting wand here. Tibbers is just... I think any champion that has these, or like these, pets or whatever you call them. Ivern, Yorick, Annie, who else? Who else has like a little pet that you summon? I hate them. I think I really think they're completely broken, especially Yorick. What does Yorick Maiden do? Why is that Yorick a champion? Rework it fast. Thank you very much. I'm sick of this lethality Yorick split pushing my base, one-shotting everything. I can't get out of his goddamn, his cage because no one knows how it works. It's stupid, bro. By the way, you can two-shot, you can auto-attack Yorick cages. But the problem is, like, it's hard to focus and target in a minion line. And then he's got this maid and all these little bloody ghouls running at you that can't be killed, apparently, because they're just so tanky for no reason. Yes. Yorick rant over. Annie. We're back. Interestingly, he goes, his stopwatch in his runes. Not many mid laners go for this these days. Usually boot delivery is nice, but Faker just opts for tier 1s early, and then he'll come into the stopwatch. Probably use it once or twice. I wonder... You don't necessarily need to complete the stopwatch. You can just use it... Oh, ultimate? He has flash ignite. I'm wondering if he gets a flash... Oh. Karma thinks she has a gank. Using this Tibbers to zone. Look at LeBlanc. Look at LeBlanc trying to make in. Faker could even flash Q. Oh, Nautilus. I like it. Not quite. You could flash Q, ignite LeBlanc. Does he go for it? Nakai ult comes through. Everybody CC. Can we get LeBlanc? Legitimately 1 health. You might see Wukong go down here. Sorry, Nautilus go down here. Faker trying to get back into the fight. Samir moves in. Gets 1. Should be able to get the Wukong. Can't quite get it. These fights are so extended. Pain. Faker will head back. 87 at 10. He's doing pretty good. We need enough for Roa. I don't think he's going to have enough for an 11-minute Roa with only 1 kill. Only, what, 100 gold from first strike? Oh my god. You can see that stopwatch saves his life there. See what the purchase is. $11-minute Roa. He does have enough. He's not this like. You get to this stage in the game as Annie. You got a slight lead. You have a Roa. You are going to be useful for the entirety of the game. There's a lot of other champions. You get to this state and you're uncertain of your future. You know. Case in point. Like imagine you get ahead on something like a Zoe. A LeBlanc. It's very easy for them to get on top of you. You get 1 shot, your damage falls off. Annie with the Tibbers and the stuns and the perma CC, you're just always going to be relevant for these fights. You can see why Faker's loving the champion at the moment. I saw Bjergsen pulling it out in the LCS as well. Faker actually played it in pro play. Playing a little bit Gragas actually recently too. Very cool. Very nifty. Playing homage to his early days as a professional. Which I like. The Mercs come through for the LeBlanc. We'll pick up a plate. Faker has Tibbers again. He might drop it. You can see him contemplating it. He won't have enough for the 1 shot, but if you can get her out of lane... Ooh. If you can get her out of the lane and you can get some plates, like it's always going to be worth. Drop ultimate is not as often as possible, but I think drop ultimate, especially for a lot of other players, more often than you'd think. If this comes out, and Faker has no flash, he will go down here. Doesn't panic flash. Has entire team coming through, which is fine. Samira eating some plates bot side. And Jung top side is making me a little bit nervous this game, but I think we're going to be fine. Fed Samira is never a bad time. Speed out of the base now. LP gains on this patch, by the way. I went from gaining... On my main account, I was getting, what, 20, 21 points? I went to getting 31, 32, 33 LP for a win. 20 for a loss. And on win streaks, you get even more. I like the chains by Riot, but I don't see how it's going to be sustainable. Because at the tip top of the leaderboard, where I am, people are going to get 3,000 points, and it's going to create complete... Like, whenever... The elo system, which is what the entire thing is based off, I don't know if it's mathematically ready for Riot Games to just implement new systems, and it's going to be able to balance itself out. We could end up with such giga hyperinflation of LP you've ever seen, where you see platinum players in Masters and you see challenges with 4,000 points. I don't know what's going to happen here. And then everybody's going to... If you have challenges and all these... Everyone in Masters and super high, like... It's just going to defeat the rank. I think a challenger, rank 1 player should be around about 1,000 points. I think that's a good goal. And Riot need to try and get inflation in accordance of this and stop giving... LP inflation has been going up year by year. And I know about inflation, and I know a thing or two. As we get a team fight, Fake up, pumping the Tibbers through. They can't fight on top of it here, but it looks like red side make a pretty solid pick. Oh, Ignite. Renekton. Crocodile Renekton, great skin. One of the greatest skins in the game. And Faker has to back up. Lucidity Boots. It lowers your flash cooldown, which is why you buy it. It's nothing more than lowering flash cooldown on a champion that uses flash as your number one engagement. Samira, you're not superhero. You are dead. Yeah, dude. I think 1K LP should be the number one spot. When you see people at rank 1 and they're 2,000 points, so like really high like that, it's just... I just think that the ladder is off by a lot. Especially when there's a lot of players up there. If there's one anomaly, English? Like Magi Felix something has like 2K and then everyone's like 1.2, 1.1. That's fine. Just means he's that much better of a player, but when everyone's up there, it just defeats the purpose, bro. You got 5,000 master tier players and it's just a cluster. I guess it's a cluster. No swearing intended. As we are approaching the mid game, this could be a long game. It's getting dead even. And it really doesn't look like there's going to be any complete snowballs from either side. Everybody looks pretty even. Fiora has the Divine Sunder now, so she'll come back into the game. Mid lane tower popped. Renekton looking for the flank. It's the ultimate. Faker has ult himself. They take the mid lane tower and they kite it out. Looks like he's going to be going for the Hourglass second. You can pop Tibbers, Hourglass, control it. It's a pretty solid mechanic. It's not going to be the most damage setup, but it's going to be extremely durable. Only 60 armor. No one really goes Fiendish Codex. Back in my day, Fiendish Codex was completely broken. You would rush the item, stack it, then they halve the amount of armor it gives, and then the... Thank you for the kill, Karma. Nautilus Annie, just free CC setups. Slam dunks. Seeker's Arm Guard used to be 143% cost efficient. Now at fully stacked, it's maybe 111 or something. If no one wants to fact check me, that'd be great. Around about those numbers. I'm a numbers man. Graduated top of my class in mathematics in grade 6. Kind of a child prodigy. Still am. Baker pops everything he can, but luckily they have the Tibbers, the 6th man, and that might actually be the difference maker. Samira makes her way in, gets 1, gets 2. And Faker, that's extremely worthy death. Nautilus Hook goes wide. And Samira proving why this is one of my favorite bloody picks in solo queue, because it's one of the 80 carries you can properly 1v9 with. Dragon picked up, second here for blue team. Baker still hasn't made his way towards that Hourglass yet. Shadow Flame might not be the worst option into the Karma. Qmax, by the way, 2 into E. A lot of Annies that I've reviewed do the W max, or at least put 3 points in the W so they have better wave clear. But Faker just opting for full Q straight into that E. I can't remember the last time I did an Annie mid review. I've definitely done one, and I don't know who I did it on. It might have been EU player that got rank 1 playing Annie. I think it was. I can't remember who he was, but sorry to the guy. 112 to 160 CS here. One bad thing about LeBlanc, and even when she gets a lot of like popularity, it's so hard to scale well onto the champion because everybody's CS is so shit. So unless you can get 5 kills pre 15 minutes, your opponent, even if you've got a kill or two on them, they're just CSing and scaling better. When all else fails, CS and experience is your best friend in League of Legends. You don't need solo kills. If you're able to solidify a perfect CS and XP score, you'll be strong regardless. You got to get that into your mind. People really sweat over the kills, but in the long list of things, it actually doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Especially now, where they have just nerfed, if you didn't know, maybe one of the biggest League of Legends changes we'll see. They've just nerfed kill gold. Kill experience, sorry. Catch-up kill experience, I believe, is changed also. A lot of, like, small macro changes they're making to League of Legends that they don't really highlight too much. You can see that hourglass coming into effect here. Flash is... Unfortunately, entire team is here to get him, but they've overextended. You might see Samira go in for a pentakill here. Let's see if we can get her S. She's got it. One more. Is anybody going to let her in? She goes. Ults. Doesn't have flash. Used it earlier. And the Jhin might be able to kite that out. Don't chase. Don't chase. Don't chase. Ouch. Sometimes I never get hit by Jhin E's. And I think to myself, did these things do damage? And I stay on them for a little bit. And then they hit me damage. And I'm like, oh yeah, they do. And then a year goes by and I forget again. Maybe I'm stupid, but like sometimes because I just never get hit by the E2 damage from staying on it, I'm like, these traps don't do anything. Bam, I'm dead. I'm like, yes, they do. You're just that mechanically gifted that it's very rare that you stay on them. Is what someone would say if I wouldn't say it. We head into the mid game here. 22 minutes in. Once again, both teams, it's probably going to be a 30+ minute game. I can't see any team coming away with this win early. Dragon setup is the only thing that is really on my mind for the souls, but that's still going to be pretty late. I just love the Maokai any Nautilus Samira combo. The Furo not so much, but the rest of it, we go in. Tibbs has been procced. And this is a complete stomp for red side. I don't know what happened there. The bot lane just got exploded. That was pathetic. And now if the enemy team's able to get an ace or something, they could set themselves up for a Baron. And that maybe is what they're looking for. Just a slight overextension for blue team. No IE completed for the Samira, and that might mean a free Baron. Baron to Dragon is just not what you need. Euro has TP, but it's 25 seconds. Faker. I think moving in here, he sent Tibbs in to do his bidding for him, but moving in here and getting picked and they get the Baron, it happens so often in my solo queue games where I just regret it. I'm like, just give it and fight when it's favorable. Get the Baron. Nautilus goes in. Baker is absolutely on a mission to get the Jhin. Just spam that Q. He's done. Thank you very much, good sir. And the chase. If he's able to get a flank off here, let's see if he can get behind them. I'm pretty sure they just gifted him extra 2 kills. Yeah, 3 kills. Wukong looking for the base. Faker trying to make his way out. Oh, the Jhin trap. Faker jogging through mid. And he should be good with that E speed. And we'll probably look for a base after this, sitting on a lot of gold. 14, level 14. I think he's almost the highest in the game. The only difference is the Renekton, who has been on a bit of a tear. What are you guys' thoughts on the game state as of late? I actually really like the League of Legends game state in solo queue. Competitive, it's pretty boring. But I think in solo queue, the game state feels good. It feels pretty open. There's a lot of niche picks that can be played. The meta champions for me are pretty fun. Not the worst. It's not really. I see a lot of people complaining, but you know, you learn something in life. People complain, but if you give them $1 million and you give their neighbor 2 million, they'll go, "Well, why didn't I get 2 million?" Like, people are just like that, bro. Like, that's just how life is. So, Faker heads back here. Give the dragon. He has probably 2.613k gold in the bank. Buys a void staff. Rower completed. Hourglass completed. Void staff. Lucidity boots. It's a build that's never going to be useless. It's always going to be relevant. Flat pen, survivability, stall it out, bait their cooldowns. Enemy team pretty lackluster on the MR department. Only thing is the Wukong. And that Wukong has just completely baited her team. Wukong will go down. You can see how tanky Annie is. Jonathan caught up, and that's the pick blue side needed. They can get the Renekton here as well. Faker. Flash out from the Crocodile. We're seeing a little bit of progress. It's still dead even on gold, bro. Nice. I'm liking this guy's picks. I think definitely this inhibitor siege is probably one of the most greedy things I've ever seen. Got to get out of there, thank you very much. One thing in Korea they do is, if they think that they can end or look for an inhib, they'll limit test to get it. And sometimes that means losing the game. But if you don't try for the hero play with them and ping them back, and they all die, they will AFK and say you lose. It's like a different is it a different culture, different mentality? I'm not sure what it is. They have a different mindset. Like, I'm not like, that's just what I have observed on my 5,000 hours in the Korean server. Jin picks up Maokai. They'll pick up the towers too as well here. This is just very awkward, the game state. Faker thinks he can defend. And they can't. But they do get that kill in the shutdown onto Renekton. Faker flashed in. Trying to space it out. Didn't quite get the stun he was looking for. Simira will go down to the Ignite. Jin will pop the Fiona. And Faker will be needing to absolutely leg it. Oh, get out. He's actually going to save the Nautilus. What a guy. No, he's not. Nautilus dies. And I'll be honest with you. These games, sometimes, even at the tip-top level, they look bronze. You look at this and you're like, their decision making looks silver. This looks like my EU West Gold 1 game. And the truth is, it's not. It's nothing even close. You have no idea the differences in levels of play, in levels of execution. You think it's similar and you look at it and it looks messy, which it is, but it's just not comparable to your Silver 1 games. I'm sorry. If you're a bad player in these games, like one tier below the average, you will stand out by a lot. Trust me, I've been that player. I've stood out a lot. Faker doesn't have flash. No soul for a while still. God, this is rough. Baron. Wukong and Renekton are bot side. Renekton no TP. This is possible. Faker has ult, could use it. And he does. Ultimate onto the Nash. I love this. If they chase a Fiora... Wait, Fiora? If Fiora lives as well? No, Jin. No, Jin. Nobody. Huge call by Faker to get that. Fiora lives as well. Sometimes that's having that world championship experience. Doesn't really want to back. He wants to try and push mid one more wave and then set up for the dragon. Would be such a good macro. They just don't have any vision. It is to lead the charge. Yes. 2. And you see how the tib is, by the way, for the cooldown. So when Tibbers expires, you have your ultimate is back up. So Faker's ult's back up. So if they nerfed that by 10 seconds, I think, in the recent patch. If you just spam R late game, you always have a Tibbers with you. So you always have a 6th man. I think, and that thing is so broken that I think that's why, that's one of the reasons why the champion is so strong. I mean, the kit itself is strong, but also that. Always having a Tibbers with you by your side is probably a very good stat check. I'm not too sure on how to play this macro. You're a look steady pick. And you can just see how awkward it is. Do we siege bot lane? Do we shove through mid? I think it's Fiora's fault for being so deep. They needed to be either 4-1 or 1-4. You can't just commit half your plays here, half your plays there. As we have Flash on our way towards what could only be probably... I think Shadow Flame here is good, but I mean, if you got the gold for a Deathcap, why not? I just think Shadow Flame, that extra little bit of magic pen, especially because of the Karma shielding, it's just... Oh, we might see a 1v1 here. They can try to take down the Renekton in a 1v1. Who wins? Who wins this? Wukong comes in. Stopwatch has been proc. Faker. No way he's able to kite this out. Karma trying to look for it. Kiting. Does go down to LeBlanc, but I think this is going to be a really nice trade here for the blue team. Fiora. Oh, God. It's actually an even trade for now, unless Samira can get flashes. Jin flashes as well. Cleanse comes out. Great mechanical work here by Samira, and she will pick up the Renekton. Jin flash. LeBlanc flash. And you can just see there, so he does go a Deathcap. You can see that surprise with how tanky Faker is. The Tibbers as well, just getting in the way of shit. It's so annoying to verse. Every time I verse in any in solo queue, I don't know about you guys, I say to the player, do you have no shame? You would sacrifice your entire ego, your entire identity to play Annie and gain a mere a couple divisions, and I respect them, but also I don't. So play it with that in mind. Like, I say I'm not judging, but truthfully I am judging a lot. Like, if my best bud's silver and then you start spamming Annie and he gets gold for the first time in 7 years and he's like, look, I'm gold, I'm like, no. Annie is just broken. You're an Annie abuser. Wait until she gets nerfed. Be back to silver, buddy. I'm a friend, I am. Hashtag stay toxic. Hashtag live evil. Deathcap completed by Faker now. 3k health. The damage numbers are not that great on this tankier setup. If you wanted to go the Electrocute, Luden, Shadow Flame, Deathcap, Void, and just one-tap people, you could. I just don't think it's as good as this build that Fake is doing, or as consistent. But when you do get those highs and those one-taps, it does feel a little better. The tree makes his way towards Leandries, Demonic, and hello. Another champion. That's impossible to be bad at. Maokai abuses, Annie abuses, Fiora abuses. It's just all people that are getting inflated by champions, and it's triggering. As someone that plays champions like Twisted Fate, here I am racing the F1 with a 1971 Ford goddamn pickup truck, and then I got Michael Schumacher in a goddamn Ferrari next to me. Like, it's not fair. I'm playing TF. I'm playing Talia. Like, what are these picks? But hey, when I win in my 1906 Ford Esplanade, I don't know what they call it, that is when it feels a lot better. They say, damn, he's a good driver. It doesn't really matter what he can drive. He can drive. He's a driver. Not the car, it's the racer. Unless it's the car, unless it's Mercedes, because their cars seem to be pretty OP. This is Soul Fight, by the way. It's going to be an Ocean. Capturing Ocean Soul here, 35 minutes in. Increases your win chance from 55 to probably 65%. 10% win chance increase. Karma is dead. Tibbers doing work. Faker, you can see him moving it onto the backline. Flashes in. And Samira picks up absolutely everybody. And it's just Wukong and Crocodile with 1 health remaining. And they won't be able to contest. Pretty good fight there by Faker. Showcasing how broken Annie is. Looks like he's going to go Shadow Flame next as well. So he's not getting the one-shots, but he's just slowly chunking them. Tib is onto the backline. They stumble around. It's pretty nice. I've been seeing some support Annies do the Rylai's build where you put Tibbers on them, they can't move. Pretty cool. Pretty annoying. Up to you. You will lose damage, but you'll gain utility. Baron will be started. That's the correct call. Stop chasing around the Renekton. When you're chasing for kills, if you can't in your head... Oh my god, Baker got that? Jesus Christ. If you know the chase is going to be 10 plus seconds, stop chasing. Say to myself, will I kill him in 10 seconds? If the answer is no, just go back to the wave and start shoving and getting... Like, it's just... Stop. You waste too much time chasing, guys. Too much time. It is fun, though, when you chase someone and kill them. You're like, hey, I got you. It's pretty fun. I get it. I do it myself. But mathematically, it's not a good decision. Unless they are a bounty, there's a couple of nuances to my rule. This Faker's probably waiting for Shadow Flame. Elixir, full build. And we'll be able to use that Ocean Soul as well. Long extended fights, tanky. Don't base here. Do you see right here? Faker has enough for the Shadow Flame, but basing here ruins all the map tempo. I see lower elo players doing this so much, and it wants me to rip my face off. Like, bam. I base here, and you just think it's a full void buy, but you're like, now, Fiora loses pressure because you're off the map. It's just like, you just lose a lot. Faker will head back for the Shadow Flame, and doesn't quite get the Elixir. So now the entire team is forced into the base. Looks like Nautilus gets picked, and you just lose all the tempo. Even if it got a lot of gold, keep the pressure on, especially when you have Baron. Otherwise, you'll never get a worthwhile Baron siege. Now Nautilus dies, and you've got to wait that 50-second death timer off. By the time that's up, and you got the waves again, Baron's gone. Can't break their base anymore. So this is a long game, 38 minutes. Jesus Christ! I did not expect wake up this morning to a 40-minute Annie review, but here we are. I'm enjoying it. If you made it this far, thanks for hanging out. As per usual. Sophisticated League watchers. Some people I've heard like to watch me as they go to bed. Or as they wake up and get their morning coffee. If you're watching me at work, good for you, man. Getting paid to watch a video. Must be nice. Hats off to you for scamming the system. Respect. Flash not available. 30 seconds. Wouldn't be a bad idea to wait for it, but... You're trying to do a little bit of damage in the side lane. She has enough items here where if she has the mechanics, she'll 1v1 anyone. And you can see Faker posturing up. Flash in 15. Enemy team probably know it's up soon. The Baron. One final Baron siege. Can we get it? It needs to be on this next mid lane wave or it's gone. I think it might actually be gone by the time it gets there. It's gone. No more Baron. Like a clearing vision. Has flash now. Has stun charged. And look at them look for this. You can see getting a tower so low, but not quite being able to drop it. And give LeBlanc Jin a couple opportunities to get picks here. Make a full build. 640 AP. Like, as I said, it's not the highest AP build. You're losing a lot from having the rower, the hourglass, but that's fine. Mid lane tower drops. Jin just escapes with his life there. That whole kit. And now they're slowly running in. Learning how to close games like this is pretty important, by the way. Mid lane in here dropped. Now eyes are on the bot and the top. What are the options? Can you join the Fear on the side lane? Yes, but do you want to? You could just regroup top and keep Fear a bot. You have two options, really. And team's just gonna reset, get elixirs, and come back. Try and slowly pick them apart. Elder fight in a minute is probably what they're gonna try and end on because it's just too hard to get inside their base. Elixir picked up 700 AP. Could sell boots on Annie, but I don't really think I'd recommend it. Having movement speed's too important. She's Faker did sell boots though for Sork shoes rather than lucidity because now this is genius and this is what I do because I'm smart and you're not ish. But final fight is coming up, Elder, right? Lucidity boots, why do I buy them? To keep my flash cooldown down. What do I have up? Flash. So you get most damage because your flash. There's not going to be another flash. This next flash is the flash. So you get that flat pen. Samira and Maokai can solo, by the way. Faker trying to find a little bit of a flank, but he's on vision. Did he see? There's a ward here, bro. They see you. There's a clue. Oh my god, they're not. Maybe he wants to be seen. Connect in. Faker's still holding? Where's that Tibbers? Am I trolling or I can't see it? Tibbers finally comes out. Okay, there we go. Get that laugh spam. We eat the gin. I normally drink it, but Faker, he ate him. Pretty shit. Oh no, I apologize for that. Flash has been failed by Faker. And this will be able to be closed out quite easily here. They've got a super minion. They'll use that Tibbers to try and zone, and they'll one-shot the base. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the review. Thank you for watching. A lot of people hitting me up. Is Annie still going to be OP on this patch? Yes, she's still going to be broken. Get your LP while you can. Complete free low, even Fake is playing it. Catch you guys next time. Drop the ego. Pick up a mechanically easy champion. Get some divisions. Brag about it. Get a girlfriend. Get a wife. Have a family. Retire. Die. Do whatever you want. Circle of life. Goodbye.